Okay, this week marks the start of Tech Week 2020, a virtual event for tech and innovation put on by our partners Chorus. So here to talk to us about the importance of communication and collaboration online is workplace strategist at Transform Teams, Nina Fountain. G'day, Nina, nice to see you.
Great to be here. Thank you.
To cut through some of the jargon, what we're talking about is you set people up working remotely from wherever they may be. What are some of the stranger requests you've had and some of the more unusual sort of challenges?
People wanting to work 100% of the time from home remotely, that is one of the harder things to manage. And people tend to think that's going to happen as a matter of course, but
Yes.
in fact, that's a rare occasion. So
why is it so hard?
It becomes really difficult for people to get the subtle cues in the office. That's where culture comes in. That's where you get context. That's where you really understand what's important and the way things work around here.
And I reckon that's also the same thing when it comes to sales, when it comes to doing business on any front. People, human-to-human contact, people, you see people's eyes, you can look at them, you can see, we watch Mark right now, we look at him and go,
I'm
right,
laughing.
I mean, is he believable?
I'm a bloke and I haven't picked up on a subtle cue ever.
No, that's Mark though, but you know what I mean? You need human face-to-face contact as much as you do need working remotely too, because there are productivity gains too, aren't there?
Oh, huge productivity gains. And a lot of it comes from that individual time when people can concentrate, they can focus. But when it comes to collaboration and the innovative dynamic stuff that people need to do together, that's where it can be a challenge if you're remotely. So you've got to get good at collaborating.
Meetings. You know, these meetings over the phone, we got 20 people on there or even video.
And there's Zoom exhaustion. People
So are you there? You dropped out there?
Yeah.
So you dropped out. You said, yeah, start again. You know, that sort of thing?
That's it. So
You can't get going.
I completely agree. We've got to get good at our muscle around how we do that communication online, because that is going to be increasingly part of the way we work.
So is there good technology coming? Is there better technology coming? How do you do it?
Yeah, I think we've got to look at the fact that technology does only so much and face-to-face does something completely different. And so technology, improving the way we work online, a lot of it is about dropping email and having more face-to-face conversations, recognising that the tool that you use needs to match the communication task that needs to be done.
Yes.
So we depend too much on text-based technologies like texting and email, and actually we need to be seeing each other more often.
I wonder what gets done as a result of these meetings on the phone and video. You can walk away from these things. No one's committed.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, you just can't tell. Did you get that engagement? Were they really with you on this? Was there a question about it? Those subtle cues are really important.
But people do really fear technological change. They say it's a real threat to their future jobs, to their livelihoods and that. What is your response to that, and how can we create something from it?
That is such an important question. It's so key right now that as we're being disrupted, the workplace has been disrupted, people are innovating the way they work in the last 3 months. And often what we're seeing in the research, there was a Harvard Business Review paper about this from what's happened in the last 3 months, is that it didn't turn out as badly as people expected. It took a couple of months for people to realise that their people were being just as productive. It took months for people to adjust.
And
but
now
in
they
fact,
don't want to go back.
Now they don't want to go back.
Yeah.
They're actually saying, a lot of people are saying they love it. And in New Zealand as well, 66% of people want to work from home either daily or weekly post-lockdown.
To get people to do this and onto this, I've written a word down and I've circled it, and that's trust. I mean, you managers need to trust.
Yeah.
And if you've got managers who are untrusting, how do you get them to trust?
Yeah, you've got to understand trust. So we can look at trust through different lenses and different layers and understand there's different elements to it. It's a huge word. And it's also not the kind of rainbows and unicorns thing that people think it's, how is that related to productivity? But in fact, it's really deeply connected to whether we get great work done. So a lot of it is about people's intentions and their competence, and then whether they're reliable. And when you look at each of those three aspects, you can start to break down where trust comes from, and you can actually work on building each of those.
The bosses know who's reliable and who's trustworthy. I tell you what, the flip side of this though is if all these people will be working from home, what happens to the big office blocks in town, all the big CBD buildings. They empty out.
Yeah, I think there is a massive opportunity in co-working centres because we're talking about hybrid.
Yes.
So that's a reasonably productive business model for real estate.
Yes.
So to actually see more of this hybrid arrangement where people go into a co-working centre rather than renting a space on a 5 to 7 year lease,
Yes.
they're actually using a co-working centre for their staff.
We have something more than $2 shops in these things. Hey, nice to see you. All the
Great
very
to see you.
best. Yeah, good
Thank
chat.
you.
Transform Team's workplace strategist, Nina Fountain.